Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I know my face cam looks awful. You wanna know why? Okay? You guys keep complaining, why don't you use the face cam whenever you're playing on console? I use my capture card to record my face cam on my high quality camera, alright? This is just a crummy Logitech webcam that I have, but unfortunately it's the only thing that I can use while I'm playing console games at the same time. Outside of buying myself another capture card, I might do that. But I mean, really, like that's the only trade-off, is just that I would be able to use my face cam properly when I'm doing console stuff. So you'll just have to bear with me, guys, that we're going to be at like not even 30 frames. Like, this webcam sucks. It's the one that you look up online. Webcam 60 frames. Logitech. This one. It looks awful. Okay? So now that we've got that out of the way, my name's Scyushi, and we're back in with some more Trove to the Trove patch notes. Yes, that's right, console players. You guys finally got yourselves a patch. This applies to PS4 and Xbox One. We're just standing in on Xbox One because it just so happens to be the console that I have hooked up right now. Okay, so calm down. But you guys got Bomber Royale Season 2 and the gardening update. I'll have proper videos that'll show off all the stuff that you can get from Bomber Season 2. And I will also have an updated tutorial talking about the gardening, because I know you guys, I've seen you guys talking to my Discord saying how like frustrating and weird the gardening is and stuff. I got my Pokemon hat back. I got it on backwards because it's summer. Finally, we're back to summer days. Hello, Jub. Calm down. I need to take her after this. But anyways, let's get right into it. So before we get started, I would appreciate if you guys would smack like, and then also, where is it? So in the store, check this out, guys. Console players, you finally got your hands on the Sweet 16 pack. Ooh boy, that is the best pack in the entire game right there, son. 25 bucks. Maybe that's because it's adjusted to be Canadian. Weird. But 25 bucks gets you every class in the game. This is including the Vanguard, which, even if you're buying the Vanguard for the cheapest pack, which is credits, you're still spending $30. Or not $30. You're still spending roughly like 20, 30 bucks or something like that to get the Vanguard's cheapest pack. And now you can just get the Vanguard along with every other character. But if you're a new Trove player and you're sitting there going, whoa, that would be super duper awesome, use the sign up link in the description. And then anything you buy out of the store, I'll end up making a percentage of it. It doesn't increase the price of anything. It just helps me out. It's very, very awesome. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the gardening now actually goes up to 300 with the gardening profession. Where's our gardening profession table? Okay, we don't have any of those set up yet. Maybe we do, but somewhere else. So the old gardening station is now an antique gardening station. You can use this to craft the various other gardening benches, including this one right here. And I've already got plenty of videos that talk about all the gardening in general, guys. And in general, I don't really want to talk about the gardening too much, because it's probably one of the most boring topics that's ever happened with Trove. Like, nobody asked for gardening, and yet the devs just kept working on it. So anyways, now you can actually get to gardening 300. The way that the new plants work over the old plants is the old plants you would plant down, and then you gotta wait a specific amount of time, and then you can harvest them. That's it. With these plants, you gotta do all that, and then once it's actually matured to the point where you would normally just harvest it, now you have to actually water the plant for a set amount of time, a set amount of days. It resets on the Trove daily, and then you can harvest it and then rinse and repeat until the plant ends up withering and dying. And you use various plants from the earlier tiers of gardening in order to end up crafting plants in the higher tiers of gardening. It's a dumb, convoluted daisy chain of events where you have to craft this plant, to craft this plant, to craft this plant, to craft this plant. It is not as complicated or daunting as it seems. It's just boring and time gated, and just like there's literally nothing that I can say positively about it, other than I guess it's cool because it's more like a phone game now, where you can just kind of do the gardening on the side. But for somebody like myself, where I've already maxed out my gardening on PC, I'm not gonna touch it again, because all I got out of it was my mastery, and that's all I needed out of it, and that's ultimately all the gardening actually does. So bobble pods will not actually be obtained from grass. Bobble pods are going to basically be piñatas that you can throw down that are, they're like plant piñatas pretty much. They operate the same as a piñata, even though they look like a plant from the geode caves. Those you actually rarely just get from harvesting any of the gardening 2.0 plants. So in the gardening table, there's going to be up to the, what is it called? The gardener profession, like the gardener tab. Anything in there is related to the new gardening. Oh, hey, we got the new gardening right here, so I can actually show you guys an example. Good. So when you get to 150, that's where you get to the gardener tab, and this is where the gardening 2.0 kicks in. Everything before that is still just the same old gardening, right? And then you can see that some of these are actually locked out. That's because you have to get these recipes rarely from the bobble pods. So you'll throw the bobble pod on the ground, you destroy it, you get various items out of it. Sometimes you'll end up getting these recipes, then you can end up crafting those plants, so on and so forth, till you end up getting to the higher tiers. And then finally, there's going to be some plants that are going to be locked behind some of the badges and some of the, you know, new tabs of junk and blah, blah, blah. Hi, Cap. Ultimately, that pretty much covers the gardening. I guess there is also, yeah, we don't seem to have it, but there is a vegetable sink. So as you end up getting certain vegetables, you'll be able to wash them in the vegetable sink crafting table. For food, food is just literally going to be an item that you'll throw onto your tab right there on the left side of the screen, and it will end up giving you passive buffs. That's all there really is to it. It's not complicated. There's going to be some stupid things out of the new gardening, though. A lot of the new plants are going to actually... Oh, I can't use the harvesting station, so I can't show you guys. A lot of the new plants are going to require compost, which you have to get from the harvesting station. Compost heap boxes. I'll save all that for a proper tutorial, guys. I'm going to try and make the next tutorial. I really want to try and make the gardening tutorial somewhere around 10 minutes, but there's just so much, like, it's such a convoluted update to the gardening that it always ends up taking me 15 to 18 minutes to get through the tutorial. So I'm trying really hard to condense down the tutorial for you guys to get it as quick and to the point as possible. And once I do that, then I'll end up putting up that video. But anyways, that covers the gardening. You know, there's obviously more to it than just that. But there's going to be some new mounts you get out of it, new allies. There's going to be a new dragon, the watering cans. And there's also going to end up being the new store items, which are going to be the tractors. These you can actually get as a free-to-play player for 3,000 credits. So that's a little bit steep. 3,000 each, mind you. Or you can just buy the pack that gives you all of them at once, as well as a bunch of other items, but is going to end up being you actually spending $20 instead of each of these technically being $20. But if you're free to play 100%, then you're still getting them for absolutely free. There's going to be the Bomber Royale styles as well. So these are going to be new bomb skins that you can end up using. There's quite a few other things as well. Let me actually just double check right here on the deals tab. My frame rate sucks in this game. Here's the Trove cultivated pack. Why is it $25? It was $19.99 for me. Is this Canadian prices? That would make sense. Maybe it's Canadian prices. It's probably not. It's probably just overpriced on console for some dumb reason. I don't know why. But no, because the Vanguard pack is properly priced. Weird. Anyways, up next is going to end up being, you know, they talk about the harvesting bench. They talk about the compost. They talk about the food. There's going to be new badges, which you can check those out. In the badge category, it's just mostly related to gardening, nothing for Bomber. Unfortunately, this webcam, which still sucks, by the way, is going to be blocking if I tried to show you guys the badges and stuff. So we'll skip right over that for today. But you'll get like Insta Growers and Bobble Pods and stuff like that out of the badges, so they're pretty good. For the Season 2 Bomber, again, I'll have another video that's going to talk about like all the items because I don't have any of them on console. I do have other videos, so if you guys are watching this right now and you're like, I can't wait for the new video, then you can just refer to my older videos because I do actually show off not only the gardening, but also just the Bomber Season 2 stuff. Keep in mind, though, that if you end up watching my older gardening tutorial, be quiet, Jub. If you end up watching my older gardening tutorial video, the only thing that's really out of date is the fact that Bobble Pod seeds are no longer obtained from grass. Instead, you actually have to obtain them from the plants themselves. So anyways, here's the Season 2 stuff. There is just left and right bumper, or LNR1 on PS4 is going to swap you to Season 1. Unfortunately, the devs are kind of stupid and just stubborn. They made it so that it's a 2-by-1 ratio, so you have to get 2 Season 2 tokens in order to craft 1 Season 1 token, which literally means that this dragon, the Twin Plagues dragon right up here, is actually 600 tokens worth. Yep. So you gotta get 600 Season 2 tokens. That's a lot of Bomber Royale, considering that all of these items are going to end up being double. Now, technically, you can end up getting these Season 2 boxes that can rarely obtain items from Season 1 of Bomber, but I still wouldn't really recommend it. Even though the coins are doubled, I'd still say that these boxes probably suck, because RNG in this game is not your friend. Somebody might be able to risk it and get some biscuits out of it, so good for you. But there's going to be a new legendary tome, some new video effects for your helmet styles, a war-painted warthog thing, and then a new dragon, which is ultimately useless, but still kind of cool that these are added. Now you guys actually have an excuse to play Bomber again if you actually wanted to go back to it. And then they talk about the store pack. So there's also going to end up being a pack of Bomber stuff. The new plant dragon, which you get its fragments from Bobblepod seeds as well. You can actually get that dragon with the dragon effigy if you're pay to win. There's going to be a couple new dungeons, some in the Geo topside, some in the Luminopolis, which is the Neon City, different generation. There's a new desert one, a new Neon City one, and another Peaceful Hills Sunflower, which is nice that they're actually adding some of those. Then there's the additional changes, and ooh boy, there's a lot of these. Because here's the thing, guys. Not only did you guys get the Season 2 of Bomber and the gardening, console players, you guys are actually caught up to the PC version right now. Cool, right? I know. Because normally when these updates end up coming out, you're still like a month or two behind, and we've got the next thing already on PC. But obviously we're not going to see that happen very much, but you know, now. But anyways, they've changed a bunch of the critters in the geode caves, so now they will end up when you help them out, you can end up getting eggs out of them and stuff. Fishing trophies can now be placed in club worlds and cornerstones. Can now only be placed in club worlds and cornerstones. Increase the drop rate for bubble dragon fragments. Crafted materials have an additional information added to them, which describes where players can actually find them, so I hopefully don't have to make tutorials on every single item in the game at any point. Class gem key fragments can now be crafted with 5 empowered gem fragments at the adventurer's crafting table, which is awesome for those of you that get no luck getting those stupid keys. But that's just crafting fragments, so keep that in mind, because that's pretty brutal as far as a crafting price. I wish they would just let us craft the key. There's no reason not to. Some old tradable chaos chest rare items can now be loot collected for 1 chaos core. Why? I'd rather just trade it or give it away. Pets no longer have a default 5 glim loot collect value. Shadow Tower lobby portals will update over time, not immediately, to point to where recently occupied rooms, to more recently occupied rooms in the Shadow Tower, rather than always pointing you to the first room. So that means that if somebody opens a Shadow Tower, they've already cleared everything up to the boss, you should theoretically, if it works properly, warp up to either the room just before the boss or the boss room itself, where everybody is actually hanging out, instead of being warped to the first room and having to go all the way to the end. So all of the Radiant Dayspring tokens have actually been removed from the game, so keep that in mind. This was a system that they had where you would log in, you would get a token, and then you could end up spending it on various items. But then for some reason they just got rid of it, just because they, in their minds, it was like, oh, people aren't really logging in for these. And it's like, yeah, because you guys just made it weird time gated. There was no real excitement behind it, but it was a really good way that you could get gem augmenting items. So Pinata coins will be removed at the end of Sunfest 2019, so that's going to be later this year. I'll talk about that more when that ends up showing up. It's an item that you actually get from the event itself. There's also a bunch of different new club log things, so it'll track plants and stuff like that. You can also use a bunch of different commands, which I'll have a link to the patch notes in the description so you guys can check it out, just so that it makes a little bit more sense instead of me trying to like say the commands and stuff like that, right? So you can also, class helm styles no longer unlock on trial classes. RIP. Cornerstones damageable by bombs and abilities is now toggled off by default for new players, so that's actually a really good one. Fixed an issue that would cause the leaderboards to load empty entries in some spaces. The twin plague dragon has been added to the legendary category and can now be obtained from a golden dragon effigy. So that season 1 dragon is not that bad if you're a pay to win player. If you're not, well, you're kind of screwed and have to play Bomber for a million years. Spiders in shadow towers, Neon City, Permafrost, and other areas can now rarely drop these spider dragon fragments, which means that they couldn't up to this point. Better late than never, I guess. Yorin and Zahadin now have video effects while gliding. That's going to be the primordial dragons. Fixed shadow tower HP bars not showing up over the compass on bosses again. The tomes that can be crafted from rune crafting have been redistributed through the different ranks of rune crafting, and so that you can get to certain tomes more quickly. The Kill 10 Luminopolis enemies outpost adventure no longer counts invaders or other creatures that don't naturally spawn in the Luminopolis. I don't know. I guess people were using that as a means that they could just camp it. I don't know, and just kind of wait for invaders, but that was stupid. Or that would be stupid to just sit there and wait for that. Clone spawned by bosses no longer count towards adventures. Just more stuff that kind of nerfs a lot of the farms for Adventurine and stuff. Outpost NPCs in Luminopolis and Geotopside can no longer be affected by bounce blocks. I thought that was fixed a long time ago. Apparently not. Maybe it was fixed a long time ago for PC, but reduced Geode Cave turret damage by 25% and reduced their rate of fire by 50%. So it means that when you're in the Geode Caves, it's not going to be as big of an issue for you dealing with those stupid plants. Night charges should no longer get stuck on the corner of blocks sometimes. Now just add that same effect to the Shadowhunter's ultimate ability, because I swear it's under the same code as the Night's charge. As requested by players, they also added a timestamp for chat messages. So the timestamp is disabled by default and can be toggled on with the command, this is all one word, /setChatTimestamp. I gotta turn that off on PC. Increase the history buffer for the chat window so you can see a lot more. Rare, but not that rare, items from Chaos Chest will no longer say congratulations, which means basically nothing says congratulations anymore. Binding Darkness can now drop from all monsters roaming in the Shadow Tower, not just the elites. That's a big one. It still does not drop from monsters spawned from Cursed Skulls and from monsters spawned by other creatures, obviously, but that's just how Trove's code is working. But that is awesome. You know, that's a very big change for people that are trying to actually upgrade their gems and stuff like that and re-roll the stats on them, myself included. You know, I haven't dedicated enough time to actually doing it yet because I haven't, you know, I've got most of my gems already maxed out that I want, except for my Neon Ninja one. In my recent tutorial, we discovered that the hard way. So updated the description for the Gunslinger's class gem ability to reflect that it actually decreases attack speed. Please note this is only updated in the tool tip. The actual ability has not changed, so at least they specify that. Adjusted some dragon badges to refer to the appropriate aura names. Dragon coin boost claims are now more informative. Good, because they were confusing. Updated the description for the Forge Fragment formula to match other legendary tomes. And then other just smaller changes like that. You know, I'm kind of going through the bigger ones here. There's also going to be the leaderboards themselves. So the leaderboards have actually recently had a small change on PC that just kind of streamlined them a little bit more. You can refer to that patch notes video if you guys want to see that in more specification. Is that even a word? But the point is that you guys on console actually have that as well. So the leaderboard's just going to end up being a lot better. So they say that there's known issues as well, which is something new. They don't usually mention that. This will be fixed in a future hotfix. So you're unable to select most leaderboards with the cursor, preventing players from seeing those leaderboards. Excuse me? Leaderboards that can be selected are difficult to select due to the cursor moving in unexpected ways. Excuse me? And the stats, power rank, meta, shadow tower leaderboards are all unselectable. Then why did they put that in the patch if it wasn't working? Oh well. Anyways, that's gonna do it, folks. That's already the patch. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you didn't end up just unsubscribing and moving on because of this face cam. I mean, this is it. Do I use this when I'm doing console gaming? Do you guys want to see my face that bad? I know that makes it a lot more entertaining than me just sitting here and standing perfectly still. At least you can see me talking and it adds a little bit of charisma to it. But that 20 frames, man, that's triggering me. Like hardcore. I might have to get an hour capture card just so I can record the game. And no, that still won't work. That still won't work to get an hour capture card. yikes. I might just have to try and find a webcam that's actually good quality. But even then, it's just console and who cares? Thanks for watching. Very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like, sub, hit that notification bell. You guys know how it all goes. If you want to support me, there's all sorts of stuff down below. Have yourselves a great day. Sign on and stay epic, everybody.